A thread by Carlos Osuita. One last point about the Portland Antifa death squad murder of Aaron J. Danielson. For all you folks talking about what you do, these killers picked out a target, murdered him, and escaped in 14 seconds. Let me tell you what that means. First, let me remind you of the words and sounds picked up by the two videos. First male voice, move, move, move. Second male voice, hey, enemy clubs over here. We got a couple right here. Third male voice, him. Second male voice, pull it out. Third male voice, right here. Hissing sound, 2 gunshots. Female voice, knocked him off. Fourth male voice, go, go, go. They were using a patrol formation straight out of the intelligence manuals. The death squad has at least 5 people, a scout, the gunman, and possibly armed backup on the far side of the street, a scout and possibly armed backup on the other side of the street. One scout on the gunman's side of the street yelled, move, move, move. The other scout yelled, hey, enemy clubs over here. We got a couple right here. They refer to any organized group that opposes them as a club. The second scout confirmed the target. The gunman murdered him because that was his job. And the female shouted exultantly, knocked him off. Then backup shouted, go, go, go. These people were trained. Don't get me wrong. They'll be caught because they're crazy and stupid. But you can't just randomly murder somebody and escape in 14 seconds unless you were trained. In the 1970s, intelligence officers from the USSR, Bulgaria, North Vietnam, Cuba, and Libya trained leftist American terrorists. The point is to cause mayhem. The death squad all knew what to say to each other. In the aftermath, some of the onlookers were no doubt part of the squad. My guess is that only the gunman ran away. They confirmed the kill and gave the cops disinformation. Also, the trainers want these people to get caught. The goal is to divide the country. Democrats are playing their part by blaming President Trump for this Ted Wheeler Antifa death squad murder. Multnomah County has dropped all charges against the murderer multiple times. He was arrested in June for racing his 17-year-old son on the freeway at 111 miles per hour, high, with a suspended license, no insurance, and carrying an unlicensed gun. Almost certainly the gun used in the murder. He's still driving. He was arrested in July. He was bringing his unlicensed gun to a rally, interfering with the police and resisting arrest, carrying the same gun. All charges were dropped. It could be that this guy was special, protected, because he would be the trigger man in the first death squad in American history. This has never happened before. Not even the KKK Night Riders can be classified as death squads. And all other death squads operate clandestinely. These monstrosities were trained and sent out to be caught. Our enemies think Trump will order a nationwide crackdown that will lose him the election. Nope. He ended the Kenosha riots in one night. The feds, if they ignore the compromised Multnomah County law enforcement and judicial systems, can take care of Portland Antifa in one night. You don't want Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. He's using it as strategic deception. Multnomah County is as corrupt as Vermilion County, Illinois. Link to a blog on Vermilion County, Illinois. So, stay the hell out of Portland. The problem is much bigger than you think. Ted Wheeler is now enabling trained death squads. First time in our history that this has happened. They pick random targets and murder them openly, without fear. That means They have backing. Don't go there. You will die. Trump can stop this. You can't. Addendum 2. I hadn't seen real Donald Trump's comments when I figured out that the murder of Aaron J. Danielson was carried out by the first death squad in American history. He's on it. He couldn't have anticipated death squads. Nobody could have. Addendum 3. You do not want Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. Why not? Because he has to give Antifa a written warning and time to flee. 10 United States Code, subsection 254, proclamation to disperse. Quote, whenever the president considers it necessary to use the militia or the armed forces under this chapter, he shall, by proclamation, immediately order the insurgents to disperse and retire peaceably to their abodes within a limited time. End quote. Under the Stafford Act, he can send in a federal joint task force clandestinely. One general goes to Salem, capital of Oregon, in person to give the governor his orders, and another general goes to Portland City Hall in person to give them their orders. They are ordered to not interfere. Trump has leverage. The feds are dealing with domestic terrorist death squads now. If Wheeler is found to have aided them materially in any way, he forfeits all his assets automatically and spends the rest of his life in prison. He has no cards to play. This is not a local or state issue. It's national security now. The feds were on the case, but nobody could have anticipated death squads. It's never happened in our entire history. They found Aaron J. Danielson, identified him, murdered him, and escaped in 14 seconds. The cops were on the scene in 40 seconds. And it was the Portland Police Bureau Rapid Response Team. The death squad saw them and murdered Danielson right under their noses. All of this is being factored in. There were undercover cops there. I identified them, almost certainly federal. They were taken by surprise by the speed of this murder. A random murder and escape in 14 seconds, with cops only 26 seconds away. This was a trained death squad. If the alleged shooter is telling the truth, he was a U.S. Army cavalry scout. He's a psycho, a liar, and a druggie. But maybe he trained the death squad. I have no idea. At any rate, don't ask for the Insurrection Act. We want Trump to maintain the element of surprise.